I want to give a big shout out to HireUA.
He really does want the best for you and for your company.
It's so easy. I can pay it through a credit card.
I'm really outstanding actually at the quality of the candidate.
The best candidates I've ever interviewed.
I'm having a really good experience, so I'm happy to talk about that.
Yeah, this is the greatest decision I've ever made.
Highly recommend working with them.
HireUA.com and you'll get some great candidates.
What's up, guys? Kyle here. I'm the owner and founder of HireUA, and I've got HireUA client Alex here, who has hired 2 people from us now, and we're going to be talking about his experience with us, as well as how his people have been in the business. So thank you for taking the time today, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, so can you just talk about, real briefly, let's talk about the first role that you hired for, which was Lena. Can you just talk about what you were looking for and kind of how she's been able to step into your business and make a difference there?
Yeah, so for that role, we were looking for a client success manager. That would be someone who's going to go and step in between basically our higher level devs and the tickets, handle some of the lower level stuff, and kind of act as an in-between for the clients and the developers, because I'm sure you're aware of this. Developers are not always the best managing client relationships. Yeah. So she kind of took on that role for us.
Got it. And can you just go real briefly into what exactly your business does?
Yeah, so this is for our SaaS business. It's Make Ready Arms. It's like Shopify for guns. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so she's been kind of the liaison between the customers who are coming in trying to get some sort of e-commerce platform for guns or something like that, and then she goes and takes it to the devs?
Yep, exactly.
Got it. Perfect. And would you say, like, is she technical? Is she able to
Not
kind of
really.
liaison?
She didn't have much of a technical background.
Okay.
But everything we've given her, she just ran with it and has been honestly incredible. We can't say enough good things about her.
Yeah, you guys actually recently hired a WordPress developer as well, and I know she was part of that process, kind of translating on the interviews. And I've talked to her myself, actually, and she's just very bright, smart girl, which is really nice to hear. Would you say, were you doing all the ticketing and all the kind of liaisoning before she came on board?
Yeah, so we had a team of lower level developers that were kind of handling that, and then things they couldn't handle, they were escalating up. Okay. But like I said before, you don't want developers being the primary point of contact for clients.
Would you say, do you have an estimate maybe how much time she saved you and your partner every week since she's come on?
Oh, just myself, at least 15 to 20 hours a week. I mean, she's full time, and so it's also I'm saving time over what I would have been. Plus, it's allowing us to do more, and I mean, she's taking on more of it we just couldn't do. So it's not even a time savings; it's
awesome,
allowing us to go even further.
Yeah, and I mean, part of the issue too is, like, as a business owner, I'm sure you understand this, that every door you kind of open, like every little ticket that you have to respond to, is mental bandwidth that just is taken away from the big stuff, right? So it's really helpful when you have someone you can trust to actually come in and do all of that. So you've been through the process now twice with us. Can you just explain kind of your general experience and what you thought?
Yeah, so for us, the general process has been contacting you guys, getting interviews like the next day or the day after, very, very quickly. I think for both roles, we went through about 5 interviews each. And yeah, just finding the right person. So generally, in our first role for customer success manager, we're looking for people with very strong English proficiency, because they would be getting on calls with clients. And that was really the only thing. Everything else we can train. We've got really good training processes in place and systems in place for business around that for once we made that hire. And then for developer role, it was a little bit more of a technical interview.
Got it. And then final question here. You've got 2 roles now, customer success manager as well as a developer. What would you say you're saving on average versus hiring the customer success manager in the West and also the developer? Like, what do you think your rough annual savings is going to be across both of those roles?
A ridiculous amount of money. So, doing ballpark math on the customer success manager, probably $40K a year, over someone, full-time in the West. The developer role, a mind-blowing amount of money.
Probably close to 6 figures, right?
I would be surprised if it was less than $120,000 a year we're saving.
Okay.
Awesome. Between $120,000 and $200,000 development costs a year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing too. It's like, I would say that both the people you have are really just sharp, bright, intelligent people. Yeah. Like, at that price in the West, you're still kind of maybe getting a mid-level person, especially for the CSM role. Dev, I'm not maybe quite as sure, but you're probably still just getting someone who's kind of just skating through, not really that excited to come to work. I mean, it's just night and day difference, really is.
Yeah, and that was a great thing with working with you guys too, is both of them speaking Ukrainian, so that customer success manager can go and interact with the developer and handle things in their native language very, very easily. The language barriers have never been an issue for us. So I know that I think that's something that people worry about a lot. If I'm working with Ukrainian developers or whatever, is it going to be really hard to communicate? And that's just never been our experience.
And they're not teaching you any Ukrainian yet?
No, a little bit of Russian. I speak some Russian.
That's right. That's right.
So we've had a couple conversations in Russian, but not Ukrainian yet.
Got it. Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, man. I won't take up any more of your time. I know you guys are busy, and it's great that you've got 2 people in your business that are making a difference. So thank you for using our services, and thank you, obviously, for taking the time to do this interview today. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yep, of course. Cheers.